guys, welcome to my channel. So today I filmed a tutorial on this prom makeup look. I tried to recreate the makeup look that I did for my high school prom, and I actually really like how it turned out. It's super natural color, so it would definitely go with any dress. And also I feel like the eyeshadow pigment that I used would definitely look good on everyone too. So if you guys would like to see how I achieved this look, then please keep watching. So since I'm using glitter and eyeshadow that has fallout, I'm going to do my eyes first before I do my face. But I'm just gonna prime my skin first so it like sinks in as I'm doing my eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. And I like this primer because it's moisturizing, but it's not too moisturizing. I like to focus this on the perimeter of my face because that's where I get the most dry. I have combination skin, so if I just use a mattifying primer, it'll be too much for my skin. My foundation will cling to my dry patches and it's just more noticeable. So I like to use a hydrating primer on the perimeter and then a more mattifying primer on my T-zone. But for the mattifying primer, I'm going to use this Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Pro Filt'r primer. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeshadow. I'm just going to zoom you guys in real quick. I'm just going to prime my eyelids first. And I'm just going to use concealer to prime. I'm going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape in light medium. After I have my eyelids primed with the concealer, I'm just going to go right in with eyeshadow. And I have this custom made palette. The majority of it is Makeup Geek shadows. I think I have a couple Morphe. It's super old, but I definitely used this in my prom makeup look when I went. I used to set my eyelids after I primed them, but I just find that the eyeshadow looks way better when you don't go in with the setting powder and set it. I'm just gonna go in and use Peach Smoothie, which is this shade right here. You can tell it's a really well-loved shade. And then just before I put that on, I'm gonna buff out that concealer so there's no creases, and then just go right in with the eyeshadow. I like to kind of tap it on there first and then go in with windshield wiper motions to blend it in. After I go in with my crease color, I'm just going to add a little bit of a darker shade to add more dimension to the look. So now I'm just going to use Creme Brûlée from Makeup Geek. And I'm going to put that in my crease as well, but I'm just going to focus it a little bit lower than the Peach Smoothie shade. Oh, and I definitely forgot to mention which brushes I'm using. So for my crease brush, this is the Sigma E40 Tapered Blending Brush. And then for my smaller crease brush, I'm using the Sigma Blending E25. After I have that second shade in the crease, I'm going to go back in with my Sigma E40 and just blend it out. And I do this every time after I add a new eyeshadow, just so each color as you put them on really blend in with each other. Now using the same Sigma E25 blending brush, I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek Coco Bear, and I'm just going to focus this on the outer corner or outer V of my eye. So I kind of like to tap the product on first and then go ahead and blend it out. And then after I have the product layered where I want it, I'll just slowly blend it towards the crease, not going all the way into the inner corner, and also keeping it below the two eyeshadows that I already put on. So I want to darken up the outer crease even more, so I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek Mocha, and it's just a really nice dark brown shade. Alright, now it's time for my favorite part, which is the pigment. I'm using this Makeup Geek Afterglow pigment, and this pigment is so pretty. It would definitely look good on all different types of skin tones and different types of eye colors, which is great. So I'm just going to put a little bit of it in the cap. Before I go in with the pigment, I'm going to use a glitter primer. So I'm just using this NYX Glitter Primer. And I'm just going to put like a little dot on the back of my hand and then use like a flat top brush. This is a MAC 242 to put that on my eyelid. Like, do you guys see how pretty that looks? I freaking am obsessed with this. After I pack that color on, I'm actually going to use this Sigma E30 pencil brush and then just go right along that line, just so there's not such a harsh line and it blends into the other eyeshadows. After I have all my eyeshadow on, I'm just going to go ahead and use a makeup wipe and clean up a little bit around my eyes and also make this line a little bit sharper. I'm going to go ahead and tightline. I'm just going to use my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil, and this is in the shade 0. After I finish tightlining, I'm going to go ahead and draw a wing. And for that, I'm going to use the Kat Von D tattoo eyeliner and the Sephora liner. The Kat Von D tattoo liner is easy to use, so I like to draw the wing's shape with this. And then I use this one to fill it in. And since we already cleaned up that line, it's easier to follow. So you want to make a straight line on that eyeshadow line that we already carved out. And then just draw it back in and over. I actually really like how that wing turned out. I'll probably clean up this line a little bit there. But see, now this is the hardest part, is getting your wings to match. I'm scared. Okay, that only took like so freaking long, but I actually really like how the wings turned out. So now I'm gonna put on just a little bit of mascara. I'm just gonna use my Rimmel Lash Accelerator. It really doesn't matter which one you use. And I'm just putting on a little bit so my lashes blend in with my falsies. It's funny, I literally remember when I did my prom makeup, that was the first time I ever wore fake lashes. And I remember they were the Carly Lash from Velour. And those are really pretty, don't get me wrong, but the band on the velour lashes is really thick. So I literally don't know how I did it. I don't have those lashes anymore, so I'm trying to decide which ones I want to wear. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use these lashes from Eylure. They're the Lush Silk Lashes in the style Marquise. And I've already used these before, so they're already cut to my eye length. But if it's your first time using a pair of lashes, you always have to make sure you cut them. I mean, at least I have to because my eyes are super small. So I'm just using this Kiss lash glue and it's in black. And I'm just gonna put a thin line of that on the band and then let them get tacky and put them on. Alright, now that my eyes are all done, I'll finish my lower lash line after I do my concealer and whatnot. I'm gonna go in with my foundation. And I actually did wear this on my prom day. I wore the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation to prom, but ever since they came out with the Pro Glow as well, I like mixing them, and I actually find that it makes literally like the best formula ever, especially for my skin, since it's combination, because this one's definitely super matte. If you have really oily skin, this would be great for you, and it actually does stay on like all day. I remember I didn't even have to touch up my makeup at all at prom. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix these two, and I'm using the shade 103 in the Pro Matte and 202 in the Pro Glow. So I'm just gonna put a decent sized amount on the back of my hand because I probably will have to drag this down my neck. Since it is a prom makeup look, I would definitely drag your foundation down your neck. Even if it matches perfectly, you just never know like what kind of lighting or whatnot you're gonna be in. So you don't wanna have that line in any pictures or anything. Making a little concoction on here. I'm just gonna go ahead and dot it all over my face. And then I'm just gonna take my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 to press that into the skin. And then after I have it pretty much spread around my face, I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques Damp Beauty Sponge and really just press it into the skin. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and conceal my face, and I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape. And I ran out of the color what I usually use, which is light neutral, but I have light and I have light medium, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mix those two. After I have all my concealer buffed out, I'm just gonna go ahead and bake using my RCMA No Color Powder. I'm just gonna take my Beauty Blender and dip it right into it and just kinda. And I'm just gonna keep it under my eyes for now, and I'm actually gonna go in and cream contour. So I'm just gonna go in with this Smashbox Step by Step contour stick. And this came in a set, it came in a trio. There's a highlight shade, a bronze shade, and then this contour one. So I'm gonna start and make a line from going like the top of my ear to the corner of my mouth, but I'm not gonna bring it all the way in. I'm gonna stop it like midway. And I'm also gonna contour my forehead and my jawline. And actually I'm gonna do my nose too. I'm gonna go right back in with my Real Techniques sponge to blend that out. And now that I have all my cream contour on, I'm just gonna go back in with my RCMA powder and bake the rest of my face. Now I'm just gonna let that sit for a couple minutes. I'm just gonna wipe off the excess powder using my stippling brush from Real Techniques. Oh, and I forgot to mention this, but you definitely want to make sure you use a powder that does not have backflash. Since it is prom, I'm sure there's going to be flash photography and whatever. Now to set the rest of my face, I'm going to go in with this Pro Finish powder from Makeup Forever. I'm using the shade 118. And I'm also using my Real Techniques powder brush to put that on. So after I have my face powder on, I'm going to go in and do a light contour just over the cream contour that I already did. I'm just going to go in with my Anastasia contour kit. I'm going to go ahead and mix these two shades right here. And to contour, I was using a Japanese brush, and this came in a set with this fan brush right here. Now I'm just going to touch up the contour on my nose, and for that I'm using this e.l.f. contour brush. Now I'm just going to go ahead and bronze up my face a little bit, and for that I'm using this Becca bronzer in the shade Bronzed Bondi. And I'm also using my Real Techniques blush brush. After I have my bronzer on, I'm just going to go back in with my RCMA powder and my beauty blender and just make a line under it just to carve it out and make it look a little bit cleaner. And while I'm letting that sit on my face, I'm just going to go in with my blush, and for that I'm using my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. And the brush I used for that was my Sigma F40. Now I'm just going to go in with highlighter. For that I'm using L'Oreal Gilded Honey. I literally apologize for all my makeup being so dirty, but all of these products I just use so much that like there's no point in like cleaning it all the time, and it just gets dirty over time. So first I'm going to highlight the inner corners of my eye, my brow bone, and my nose, and for that I'm going to use this little e.l.f. concealer brush. And now using my Real Techniques setting brush, I'm just going to highlight my cheekbones, my chin, and my cupid's bow. And I'm also going to highlight a little bit above my brow as well. I'm just going to go ahead and dust off that fake now. Also, I forgot that I didn't use a brow gel before, so I'm just going to go in with my NYX Control Freak Clear Brow Gel. I'm just going to use this NYX E30 pencil brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Coco Bear first, which is this one right here, and focus that on the outer half of my lower lash line. And now I'm just going to mix a couple of the lighter shades I use, like Peach Smoothie and Creme Brûlée, and then just buff that all under the lower lash line. Now before I go in with my bottom lash mascara, I'm just going to put on some setting spray. So I'm just going to use my MAC Fix Plus. Now I'm just going to go in with the same mascara I used earlier, which is the Rimmel Lash Accelerator, and just put that on my lower lashes. Alright, now I'm going to do lips, and I'm actually going to use the same combination that I used when I did my prom makeup. These were also the first things I ever bought from MAC, so they kind of hold like a special place in my heart. But it's the MAC Etc. lip liner, and it's the Pro Longwear lip pencil. And then for the lipstick, I'm using Honey Love. Alright guys, so this is the completed look. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you guys subscribe down below and stay tuned for my next video. Bye guys!